Hey guys, welcome back to the Pure Goddess channel. My name is Gwenly. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been a while. I hope everyone's doing good. We're in the month of February. January was a very heavy month, I think, for a lot of people. How I say January of 2025 was right, it hit me hard this year, right? January usually is a month to reflect on the previous year. And what was not done to be completed in the month of January. In any way in your life, right? And so with that being said, it was a heavy month, just like the previous year. A lot of attacks, right? A lot of attacks from the devil, demonic entities, demonic spirits, dark energies. So a lot of attacks from the enemy. In my situation, in my life, not my situation, but my life, I would say removing all the people, all the energies that are not good for me, that don't wish me well. People that have betrayed me, cursed me, taken me for granted, not appreciated the person that I was, not appreciating the love that I give to them. Just wishing darkness upon me and wanting darkness upon my life, wanting me to never prosper, never achieve anything in my life, to be content in being in isolation my whole life, in darkness and depression and anxiety, in victim mentality, in just feeling low, low self-worth about myself, right? And just not seeing who you truly are, not wanting to, or caring who you truly are, right? But wanting to judge or speak upon your life like they know the the ending outcome. They know what's gonna happen. They know this is what they want for your life, so they're gonna speak upon your life negatively. That has been my family my whole life, right? And removing my family out of my life, you know, I'm 30 years old, and my parents have been in my life my whole life, right? I've known my parents my whole life. My stepfather since the age of 8.5 or 9 years old. That's when he came into my life. My brother, 6 years younger than me. My sister, 8 years younger than me. So, and then extended family, my aunts, my uncles, my cousins. So more so my karmic immediate family, right? Removing these people out of my life because they're the ones that are center stage to everything that I just mentioned, the darkness, wanting the worst for me, not wanting me to achieve nothing, not even a certification, not even a I mean, the simplest basic things, you guys. Not wanting for me to succeed in anything. If that is anything healthy, right? Healthy habits, healthy routines, the most basic stuff, because they do not have it within themselves. They don't have that in their lives, so they don't want that for me, right? It's like some people can't even fathom to hear this. Like, they can't even believe your own parents, your own siblings wanting the opposite for you, right? Not showing you that love, but showing you envy, jealousy, hatred, you know, all the dark negative things that you would want for an enemy. I mean, come on. So having my first enemy being my parents, and it took me a very long time to realize this. Obviously, I was raised by my mom. I grew up in her household, so I've always known, you know, I've lived real close to her, right? So I've always known she's always been my enemy. And you know, it's with my father, it was not so easy to see because he wasn't in our lives so frequent, right? Yes and no. So removing these people in my life, removing their energies, their frequency, something that it's always been normal for me, right? Because I've always been in that environment. So obviously being in an environment like that, feeling their energy, me being a spiritual person, me being super sensitive to energy, me soaking up that energy made me believe I was them, exactly like them. But I always second guess myself, that's not me, because my heart is not black. My heart is not bruised. My heart is not hurt. I don't have that hatred, that envy. I am not a petty person. I am not angry. I am not a person that I want revenge. I believe in the higher power. I believe in God. I believe that in source and spirit, the Holy Spirit. And that's been my whole life. Until a few years ago, I didn't know that I have my angels, my guides, my ancestors of the highest white light, and Jesus Christ, Lord, to protect me. They've always been there for me since I was young. I just didn't have a name for them or a label, right? But I've always known and felt their love and their protection and their presence, right? Since I was young. And that would be me in my own room, behind closed doors. I would be there. I've always been isolated. There's certain areas in, certain parts of my childhood that I don't blame my parents, because we were immigrants. We are immigrants, right? We were illegals. Not now, not anymore. But just being on my parents' side, on my own mother's side, being like very in fear, living in fear and anxiety and depression. Us not being allowed to go outside and play. And that's just her upbringing, her own fears and childhood traumas put onto us, so we didn't really live a normal life. We watched a lot of television, and for a lot of people it's normal, in different circumstances, different events in their parents' lives, that as a result their children grew up this way. So I'm wise enough and I'm mature enough to see the difference. So growing up not really doing sports and things like this until I was maybe 12, 13 years old, that's when it started more, right? My brother and I were in taekwondo for a few years. I was doing violin. I was playing the violin. So I had concerts and things like this. But, my parents are introverted. They're water signs. So, everyone has their own experience in their life as in childhood, teenage years, and, early adulthood. And a lot of generational trauma, a lot of suffering. And that's fair, that's normal. And I've always, had that respect for my parents. But putting that aside, wanting to harm their child and not want good for them, and want good for them because we're in America, because we are trying to live the American dream, trying to better ourselves, better our lives, right? Gain more material stuff and succeed and have careers and go to school and things like this. The normalcy of life, right? In America, in the world. And you know, my father was more positive in that sense. You know, being positive, and you know, us growing up, we would see him. We would see him once a week on Sundays. You know, my parents had to work a lot, and you know, I respect that in my parents, obviously, you know, and that's a result of why I had to grow up fast. You know, I'm the eldest sibling and had to watch my siblings at a younger age, because my mom had to work, right? Not all day, right? It's usually a morning shift, but sometimes. And so I had to grow up fast, and that's just normal. For Hispanic culture, for immigrants, it's normal. It's a normal thing, right? And you know, we would see my brother and I would see my father once a week for like 4 or 5 hours, right? From like 3 p.m. to like 7 or 8. And we would just go, our spot would be like Starbucks, right? Go sit down, get a drink, and talk. My dad would always have good times, you know, good times when we were younger. My dad would always be talking knowledge, putting wisdom into us, you know, motivating us and giving us that light, that freedom that he knew we didn't have at home. Because, you know, he was once married to my mother, and well, he knows their relationship and he knows how my mother is. So, you know, more closed-minded, more fearful, more afraid for life, more anxious, more depressed, you know. She didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and she was fine in that energy, you know. But that harmed her children more, and she never opened up to her own kids, right? And that has to do obviously with her upbringing, her childhood, her trauma that she never healed from. And yes, some people could heal faster than others. Some take a whole lifetime of healing. They don't start healing until their last few years of their own life, you know? They don't have, I guess, regrets. Or maybe certain circumstances could have been different, right? Not regrets, because I believe that regrets are, you know, everything is for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. It's not a coincidence why we made a choice. We took an action. We lived in this way, right? So, you know, some souls are baby souls, some are old souls, right? We've lived multiple lifetimes. We've lived more than others, right? So our maturity, our wisdom, our understanding is more, we're more experienced, right? And so Some people are very stubborn and just living that karmic life, not wanting to learn lessons, right? Being content and okay with the life they're living in, the maturity level they're at, right? Thinking they're fine, and liking to live in this type of lifestyle. So I've always seen life as positive and negative, right? That's the truth. Positive and negative is the truth. You can't be truthful and not be negative. You can't be truthful and not be positive. There's always both, It's not all love and light and like fine and dandy. Like, majority of us, no matter how much healing we've done, there's always more healing to do. And healing is not cute, it's ugly, because you have to dig deep and take out all those negativity, those hurtful, those depressive, anxious, fearfulness out of you in whatever area of your life you're trying to heal, right? At the end of everything, once you're healed, then it is positive, right? It's a positive experience. Then you could speak of the bad, the negative experience you've had, the negative life you've had, whatever the case is, whatever whatever had happened to you. And you could laugh about it, you could happy cry about it, you could be relieved, and you're free from that because you've healed. So that's the positive, the ending part. And yes, in between there is negative and positive, there is levels to healing. And a lot of people don't like doing that work. And if you want to level up, you want to prosper, you want to heal, you got to do the work. You got to face your shadow. You got to face the bad part of yourself. You got to face the areas where you've tried to block that out of your life, right? Those events, those circumstances, those whatever it is. So let's not take that away, from the people that have hurt us, just acknowledging, right? The good and the bad. That's the truth. And so, that's not an excuse to be narcissistic with your children. To take it out on your children, to have that hate, to have that envy, to not want good for your own child. And since I was a very young child, I saw the difference with with how my younger siblings were treated compared to me, what I had to do compared to my siblings, right? My sister, she is my stepsister. She is my stepdad's daughter with my mom, right? But we all live together, so she's still my sister, right? Um, and you know, the older that she got, I started noticing that she doesn't get treated like Cinderella, like how I was treated when I was very young. I started taking care of my own siblings, and I was, earliest was like 11 and a half or 12 years old, and I was very responsible and very loving, and you know, it's not like I was irresponsible. I was very mature for my age, always have been. And so, you know, my mom always like put me to clean the house, you know, and yes, she's a working mom, but she hated to clean. She never liked to clean. I remember when I moved out at a very young age, because I didn't have a good household like life in my own home, in my mother's home. So I wanted to leave. I wanted to run away from there, right? And once I moved out, I realized, I mean, she never liked to clean and the house was always dirty, right? And my sister was never put to clean, no matter how dirty the house was. My stepdad had to mop because we had a dog and he would pee sometimes, and he had to clean. My mom would never clean. Like, it would be like a nuisance for her, like the worst chore ever to clean her own house, you know? And that's just like, obviously I know my mother. I know her to the core more than she knows herself, because that's who I am, right? I could see through people. I see what you need to heal. I see what you lack. I see the good and the bad, you know? And I still give people the benefit of the doubt. And so, you know, I realized that, like, I was treated like, literally like Cinderella my whole life. Always locked up, you know, always, you know, and that has to do with, with my parents' upbringing and not wanting to be out there and being afraid that we're illegals and we're living in the US and things like this, right? But still, you know, my siblings got older and, you know, they were giving things, showed their love in different ways to them, and to me it wasn't like that. And that's when I started getting angry and resentment and feeling a type of way, right? When I just gave my family love and affection, and I cared for them by cleaning. I cared for them by sometimes cooking for my siblings, and, you know, being their mother at home when my mother was working, especially in the summer when the kids are out of school, when we were out of school. And so, you know, she really took advantage in that aspect. And always I was like that maid, right? When she would go out with her husband, I will do her hair and her makeup and help her get dressed and things like this. And, you know, I would be the babysitter for like the evening to night. And in so many ways, as young as I was, it was not okay, right? But sometimes people, they're living their younger 20s or adolescence in their older years, right? Because they have that trauma. They have that I never got to be free. And that's what was going on. But, it was just very, very, very negative and dark. I could never talk to her. I could never, I was always ignored. I never talk about my feelings or anything I wanted in my life. No, So my dad came in that way for us, for my brother and I. And it's like, when people are in your life and they want you to do good and they're cheering for you, but once you like surpass their level of like what they're gonna accept from you, like, we want you to do good, from friends, lovers, or family. We want you to do good and succeed, but don't surpass us. They don't want you to surpass them or to even feel, to even feel like, oh, she's getting better, she's bettering herself. We don't want that, right? So throwing that shade, doing things to manipulate for us not to achieve that. So I had that in my life a lot of talking smack under their tongue or whispering, like, if someone's trying to throw shade at you and they say a comment, a positive or like a loving comment, and then they say something negative, like a bitch move. That was my mom my whole life. Like, oh, you did so good, but yeah, you're not gonna get any better than that, like, you're not, and that's all manipulation. Like, okay, you got that certification, oh, you passed that class, or yeah, you got your own place, but like, it's an old building, like talking down to you. Oh, you're gonna share a room with your son, like he doesn't have his own room, things like this, and to make you feel bad, oh, people that live here, they're not, it's like low income, it's not, the people here, it's like they do drugs and they're bad, like things like this. So, oh, your car, like, I had my first car, you guys, at the age of 2 years ago. I got my first car because I was never motivated by my family, like, to ever drive or to, not that I need to be, but I lived in their household, and it's like, you have to be like this. We don't want you to drive. Like, there's just that energetic, like, no, you're not gonna do it. Or that negativity, like, I can't have that. And all my, it's like certain things, all my siblings and I, we dealt with. My sister, till this day, she doesn't have a vehicle. She turned 22. And like, her parents are so negative. Yeah, she knows how to drive, but her parents don't let her drive their car. They've never helped her out to get a vehicle, if she needed the help. So not having that support, right? Like, a lot of control. I had a, what is a 99 Honda Civic, an older car, right? And my mom never wanted to get in it. Like, she just doesn't care for it. Like, she's too good for it. You know, it's her daughter's car. And then I got this vehicle last year, and she had no issues getting in the car, right? And that makes me think of Asian families, how they are with their kids, or Indian families. Like, it's that tough love, or like you could do better, you're gonna do better, and like, I'm not gonna give you love unless whatever, unless you succeed, unless you become a doctor, unless this and this. It's like that harsh love, right? So that's how my mom was, you know, and that's how she is. And so yeah, you guys, at this time I am going to therapy. At this time I am doing a lot of healing. You know, when you let these people go, I mean, there's so many stories I could tell you guys. It's not just this seems like small, you know. It's more, it's doing, when your own mother talks trash, when your own family talks bad about you for no apparent reason, no reason, they just don't want good for your life. They make up stories, they lie on your name. It was really hard for me to believe. I would see it, I would sense it, I would feel it, but I always ignored it. I gave them the benefit of the doubt every single time, because it's my own mother, it's my own parents, it's my own siblings. How can they do this to me? How can they think of this way of me when all I ever gave them is support, love, affection, you know, all the things that someone needs to better themselves, to achieve things in their life. You know, I never got that reciprocation from my own family. And you know, being programmed to accept and to live this way, I am now doing the opposite. I'm now a lot of reflection, right? A lot of, I need to unlearn this, I need to unlearn that. This is not me. This is not me. And yeah, they've been in my life my whole life, right? So I would always try to do this behind closed doors. I've even moved away to another state, and I would always come back to, I need to learn these lessons because I'm living the way that they taught me to live, right? Their karmic ways, their karmic lifestyles, I am unworthy, I am this, I am that, because they taught me that I am this and I am that, knowing that I am not. Deep inside, within me, I know I am not. I am not who they're saying I am. They don't know me. They're putting a whole story of who I am. Like, they're trying to really put that narrative, like this is gonna be my life, when it's not. You know, so trying to unlearn all this while they're still in my life was impossible until now. They're not in my life any longer. That's what I needed to do. That's what had to be done. But I didn't have the strength and the courage to do it back then. I didn't have the strength and the courage to remove my own family from my life, because it wasn't time yet, right? God's timing. I needed to learn more lessons, to forgive them, and every day I'm working on that, right? Thankfully, I am healing now, and I could talk about it more, and I'm remembering stuff, because a lot of my childhood, adolescent years, I had to block that out because they were not there for me when I really needed them. Like, they abandoned me from an early age. My own parents abandoned me. So, you know, a lot of mental, emotional abuse, and spiritual abuse, for sure. You know, it's hard to talk to a therapist or to someone in the medical field about spiritual abuse, because unless you have lived it, unless you have studied spiritual abuse and you're into spirituality, you are gonna think I'm crazy. And yeah, I'm a single parent, so you become afraid. Like, I don't want to speak upon it because they're gonna think, what if I, whatever. So it's and that fear is from the devil. That fear was put upon from even my own parents, and that's part of the warfare. Even though they're out of my life, I'm still being attacked by them, by the spirit that is within them, by that demonic spirit that wants to ruin me, right? That wants the worst for me. They think that I'm never gonna speak up, and that's the fear that my own parents, the devil within them, I grew up with that. Them putting that fear into me, that what they're doing is okay, right? Putting that picture into my head, this is normal for you, and you're gonna stay like this, and you're gonna live this way, and all these things. That's not me. And unlearning a lot of things, right? And yes, it's hurtful sometimes. Some days are better than others, but not giving up, right? Because we have a higher purpose. And we know that we are highly protected. We are very, very protected. Yes, attacks and warfare and these demonic spirits that are within our own family, or ex-lovers, or ex-friends, because they're all the same type of spirits. They're just jumping to different bodies, different vessels, but it's all the same. So them wanting to bring us down, especially towards the end of the year, it's normal, right, for the attacks to become more excessive. Beginning of the month, same thing. But we're in a time in this world where everything's going to shit, right? There's a spiritual warfare is very strong. You guys could see it now. The veil is no longer there, right? You either see the shit or you don't. You see the truth or you don't, even if it's negative, even if it's bad, right? All these plane crashes, all these things that are going on in this world, it's not a coincidence. There is a reason behind it, and it's bad, right? And God will let things happen. He could control. He is the highest power, overpassing Satan, the devil. So, come on. He could stop everything and anything from happening. But a lot of people in this world, they have to learn lessons. They have to open their eyes and see. They have to awaken. And a lot of people are not awakened because they're too fucking worried. They're too invested into the worldly things, right? They don't care about their faith. They're not looking into what matters, right? Their priorities are fucked up, and people do shit People are greedy, selfish, manipulative. You know, this is normal life here. So a lot of people could say, oh, your family is normal. This is how every other family is. You know, a 3D lifestyle living in this world. Watching out for themselves, being selfish, greedy, manipulative. They will do anything and everything in order to get to this point, to succeed, no matter if it's bad or good, right? So that's a big difference from us, from a lot of spiritual people, people of faith, you know, chosen ones. We're very loyal, we have integrity, we are honest, truthful people, very truthful and honest to the people that we care for and that we love, because we want their highest good, you know, and nobody else is going to tell you, unless they really want to hurt you, right? They're going to tell you the truth. But if you have people like me, chosen ones, people that will tell you the truth in a loving way, tell you the truth for your own betterment. You want to get to this spot, you want to better yourself, you want to heal, you have to start here. And that's going to be the truth, because we know the truth. God has gifted us. Only He can give us these gifts, that we are able to see the truth in people, the good and the bad, and we still accept them. God can take this away any time of the day. He could take this away from us, right? You have to be obedient and not use these gifts in an evil way, by being greedy, taking advantage of people, manipulating circumstances, being selfish, evil, and gaining something for yourself because you have these gifts. And a lot of people who have these gifts, God sees and knows everything. He is the all-seeing, all-knowing. He is the most powerful. So many people, I know what they do behind closed doors. They can go to church every 2 times, 3 times a week. On Sundays, they could have a religious community, you know, be talking, labeling and speaking very religious, having a faith-based life, reading the Bible, lecturing people, putting others to guilt because they think they're better than you, right? But behind closed doors, they are manipulators, they're greedy, they're selfish. No matter if you're a child or a spouse or a girlfriend or a parent, you know, there's still abusers mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And I had one of those boyfriends last year. He was Christian. He has his own painting business. To the outside world, he seems very positive and goofy and happy and cheerful and witty all the time, right? And, you know, he has his own home and his working vehicles and things like this. He's good. He's well off. His family is Christian, and the sisters they marry, the pastors, and, you know, they're all holy, you know? But behind closed doors, I don't know the family, but behind the closed doors, he is controlling, manipulative, greedy, selfish, thinks money is power. That's not God. And these people will throw you under the bus right away. If you are a truthful person, you speak the truth and they hate that shit. You will tell them because you love them or you care for them so much. You will tell them their truth and they're gonna resent you. They're gonna hate you for that shit. And they're gonna do things behind your back to make you feel a certain way, right? They're gonna play, you know? They're gonna play around and see where, oh, this is her vulnerability here. This is where she's having issues in her life. I'm gonna get her there in the way that I'm gonna manipulate her or whatever I'm gonna do so I could control her or him, right? People don't have that discernment that they say they do, because if they really did, they wouldn't be doing petty shit like this, no matter the age. So, you know, it's immaturity. It's, you know, thinking that God, that they're gonna be safe still, that God doesn't see what they're doing because they go to church, because their family is religious and they're important people to the church community for their culture, whatever. No. God sees all, and everyone is gonna get their dose of karma, what they deserve for doing that to a chosen one, for doing that to innocent people that don't need, like, there's no reason why you should be doing that to that person. Just because of your own selfishness, greediness, you know? You know, we don't play that game. We're real people. We don't play that game of owning us. Nobody owns us. We are God's children. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, it's so normal for these people, these certain type of people to, yeah, once you're done, you know, you see the truth, you tell them the truth, because we don't give up easily, right? We're still gonna try. So if we tell you the truth, we tell you what we need, we're good communicators. So we tell you the truth. We want to work things out. We give you advice. We give you the truth. Like, we tell you who we are. And you don't want it. You don't want to hear it. You can't handle it. Right? You can't handle all the shit you did to me. Thinking you did that behind my back. Thinking you manipulated. You controlled. And I didn't see that shit or feel it. You're mistaken. Right? So when I tell you that to your face, you can't handle it, and you tell me, you give me an ultimatum, this is not gonna work out, right? When I tell you first, I want to work things out, but these are my issues with you, this is what I don't agree, this is not what I'm gonna tolerate, blah blah blah, and they tell you this is not gonna work out, that's enough. I don't want to hear it. Because they can't fucking handle the truth. They can't handle what they did to you. Hey, dude. Like, God sees everything. Even if it's behind closed doors. Even if it's, you're betraying. You're being unloyal. You have a motive. Ooh, that one. God will show you. And then to family and friends, once the relationship is over, they're talking shit behind your back, right? I was this, I was that, I only was with, and this is a true story. I was only with this person for money, so I could gain material stuff, whatever it is, right? I only use people and this, and you know, in that hard times when I needed the help, that person wasn't there for me. They said, oh, you only want this, and no, I don't have, I can't help you. It's like, you said you gave me a ring, you wanted to marry me, we talked about having a life together and starting to make plans, and oh, because I was truthful. I told him what he deserved to know about himself. A good wife, a good person, a good female, male or female, will tell the truth to their spouse if they care for them, right? I want you to better your life, but you need to know these things, because sometimes we don't see within ourselves our faults, right? And he didn't have it. He didn't want that. And yeah, people like this will go to their friends and family, people that were aware of a relationship, and make up a whole story. Flip it, right? I'm the bad person. And that's okay. Us chosen ones, we are at peace at the end of the day, knowing that we spoke our truth in a respectful way. We spoke our truth to better our lives and the person that we're speaking it to, right? So we're at peace with that, and we don't care what lies are being told of us. We don't care how they betrayed us. This person weeks later was in another relationship with someone younger who was gonna be submissive to him, right? That's the mind fuck. It's like, yes, we have us chosen ones, feminine, masculine is mostly balanced, right? And so when people like this come into our lives, it's like they see us as who we are, right? But they want to control us. They want to make us like a trophy wife or husband. I can make this person be like this for my own benefit. Make them a housewife or like this or like that, and they're gonna be submissive to what I say, how I want things, whatever, right? They think they could change us and make us, like, for us to be controlled and put our worthiness down, and for us not to be so. But we need to give them our energy, right? We need to make them feel like they're the shit. Make them feel like, you know, they have that power, right? And I'm learning that. Excuse me. I'm learning that too. You know, people siphoning our energy, my energy, and you know, spiritual abuse. And I'm learning that, and it's hard because we still gotta live life, right? And I'm still learning the ways that I was conformed, the ways that I was taught. It's okay for you to drain me in my essence, especially like from family, right? I was raised that's normal. Like, it's okay for them to use me like that. You know, a lot of spiritual abuse. And no, it's not fucking okay. You know? And yeah, that's what it is. And you know, people live in their own delusional world, and that's okay. That's normal, right? I have my own delusional world. But it's not gonna be like that. You're not gonna make someone do something, you know, like, unless they want to play that game with you too. The give and take game, and that's not gonna work out for me. You gotta be truthful and be on 100 just like me. If not, it's not gonna work out. You know, you're not gonna, you know, It's just greed and selfishness. This person saw it as, oh, I'm buying all these material things for her, and she's taking, so I need to take. That's not a real man, you guys. That's not a real man. That's a boy still. I don't care how much money you have, because that's where you fucked up, where you think money is more powerful, and I took that confidence away from him, because God is truth. I don't care if you have nothing, you're still worthy. It's a lot of insecurity there, a lot of self-worth too, and it's like people like to mirror that shit to us chosen ones. They really like to mirror that, and that's not me, dude. That's you. And now it's like a whole other love story was created in a few weeks after that with this person, and good for them. I wish him the best, and I hope he found his person that will play that game with him. Because you live in this 3D world, this karmic world. That's what it is. So yeah, you guys, I've been seeing this person a lot lately, his vehicle and things like this, so I thought maybe I should just get it out of my system and speak about it, right? And I've just been bumping into his people, which I had no idea. My son he started a new daycare in November of last year, and some family members of his take their kids there. I had no idea, because I've never met the family, right? I know some faces from social media that I've been shown, but that's it, right? When you're from a certain culture, you sometimes look alike, sometimes you don't. In this case, they look alike, and I got a sense that obviously they know each other. And then I realized last week that a family member lives literally down the street. And then the school the children go to, I saw him this morning, the vehicle. So it's just like, let me just take it out of my system and talk about it, right? It's healthy. But yeah, just accepting that people are gonna be assholes and bitches and petty, and just because they don't want to look bad, they don't want to look like the bad guy, they're gonna make us look like the bad guy, even though they were at fault. Because yeah, everyone is gonna put up persona to the world of who they are, what they are, and what they do, and how they're loyal, and this and that, and blah blah blah. But the truth is behind closed doors, right? And I have my witness, which is God, is my guides, my angels, my ancestors of the highest white light, and God will bring justice, right, if it needs to be done. Unless I already did it, I don't know, because when we speak truth to people, we tell them what it is, not what they think it is, or what they're trying to control, manipulate in a situation. Like, you're not gonna mess with my head, right? We got this game, we got it down to a T. We see people's true intentions, so we're not gonna get messed with, and unless you come for me, I'm not gonna come for you. That's just it. And so people live in their delusional worlds, and they don't want to hear the truth. They just want to hear gossip or lies and whatever floats their boat, right? And so I just stay out of that shit, even if I get downloads that this person thinks this of me because they're connected to them and blah blah blah. I don't care to straighten nothing out, because you're gonna think lies. You don't know me. You need to check yourself first, right? You need to sit your ass down and reflect why you're listening to gossip and drama. Because you don't like how someone even appears in their energy in your face. You know, it's just normal for us. So I'm gonna close this video out. Bye.